You're at a party and there she is. The woman who makes your heart skip a beat. She's standing off to the side, laughing at something on her phone, completely absorbed in her own world. Your palms start sweating, your mouth goes dry, and suddenly that confident guy you thought you were just disappeared into thin air. Sound familiar? Well, buckle up because today we're diving deep into the psychology of confidence and how to transform those nerve-wracking moments into opportunities for genuine connection. I'm about to share with you the exact mindset shifts and practical techniques that separate the guys who watch from the sidelines from those who step into the arena with unshakable confidence. And trust me, by the end of this journey, you'll understand why confidence isn't just attractive, it's absolutely magnetic. But here's what most dating advice gets completely wrong. They tell you to fake it until you make it, to pretend you're someone you're not, or to use some cheesy pickup line you found online. That's not confidence, that's desperation wearing a mask. Real confidence comes from a much deeper place, and once you tap into it, everything changes. Let me start by destroying a myth that's probably holding you back right now. You think confidence means never feeling nervous, never having doubts, never experiencing that flutter of anxiety when you see someone attractive. Wrong. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's feeling the fear and moving forward anyway. The most confident people I know still get butterflies, but they've learned to dance with those butterflies instead of being paralyzed by them. So what does real confidence actually look like? It's the guy who can walk up to anyone and start a genuine conversation without needing a specific outcome. It's the person who can laugh at their own mistakes without their entire self-worth crumbling. It's someone who values their own opinion enough to express it, even when it might not be popular. Most importantly, it's the individual who approaches dating not as a desperate hunt for validation, but as an opportunity to connect with another human being. Now let's get practical. The foundation of romantic confidence starts with something most guys completely overlook: your relationship with yourself. If you don't genuinely enjoy your own company, why would anyone else? This isn't about being narcissistic or thinking you're perfect. It's about developing a solid sense of self-worth that doesn't depend on external validation. Here's an exercise that changed everything for me. For the next week, I want you to take yourself on a solo date. Go to a restaurant alone, see a movie by yourself, visit a museum without company. Pay attention to how you feel. Are you constantly worried about what others think? Are you checking your phone every 5 seconds to avoid the discomfort of being alone with your thoughts? This exercise reveals where your confidence really stands. When you can genuinely enjoy your own presence, something magical happens. You stop approaching women from a place of neediness and start engaging from a place of abundance. You're not trying to fill a void in your life. You're looking to share your already fulfilling existence with someone special. But let's address the elephant in the room: approach anxiety. That heart-pounding, mind-racing feeling that hits you right before you're about to introduce yourself to someone new. Here's the thing about anxiety: it's not your enemy. It's actually your nervous system preparing you for something important. The key is reframing that energy. Instead of interpreting those physical sensations as fear, start viewing them as excitement. Your body is literally energizing you for a potentially amazing interaction. The physiological response is identical whether you're terrified or thrilled. The difference is entirely in your interpretation of those signals. One technique that works incredibly well is what I call the 3-second rule. When you see someone you'd like to meet, count down from 3 and then move. Not after you've rehearsed the perfect opening line, not after you've analyzed every possible scenario, just move. Why does this work? Because hesitation is confidence's biggest enemy. The longer you wait, the more your mind creates catastrophic stories about what could go wrong. Now, what do you actually say when you approach someone? Here's where most guys get it backwards. They think they need the perfect line, the most clever opener, the most original icebreaker. But authenticity trumps creativity every single time. The most powerful thing you can do is simply acknowledge the present moment honestly. Maybe she's reading a book that catches your attention. Instead of some elaborate comment about literature, try something genuine like, "I couldn't help but notice that book. I've been meaning to read it myself. How are you finding it?" Maybe she's at a coffee shop during an unusual time. You might say, "This place is usually packed. It's nice to see it so peaceful." Are you a regular here too? The magic isn't in the words themselves, It's in your genuine curiosity about her as a person. Women can sense immediately whether you're approaching them as a complete human being or as a challenge to be conquered. One creates connection, the other creates walls. Body language plays a huge role here too, but not in the way most people think. You don't need to stand a certain way or maintain specific eye contact patterns. Your body language should simply reflect your internal state. When you're genuinely relaxed and interested in connecting, your body naturally assumes an open, welcoming posture. Here's something that will revolutionize your approach. Stop trying to impress and start trying to connect. Impressive is exhausting for both parties. Connection is effortless and energizing. When you're focused on impressing, you're performing. When you're focused on connecting, you're being authentic. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. Imagine one of your friends, someone who's naturally confident with women, approach someone at a bookstore. He didn't stride over with some rehearsed line. He didn't try to be the most interesting person in the room. He simply noticed she was in the travel section, mentioned he was planning a trip himself, and asked for her recommendation. The conversation flowed naturally because it was based on genuine curiosity, not a hidden agenda. The conversation lasted 20 minutes, they exchanged numbers, and later went on several dates. But here's the crucial part. He would have been perfectly content even if she wasn't interested. His confidence wasn't dependent on the outcome because his self-worth wasn't on the line. This brings us to one of the most important concepts in dating confidence: outcome independence. This means being genuinely okay with whatever happens. If she's interested, fantastic. If she's not, that's perfectly fine too. Your mood, your self-esteem, your entire day doesn't hinge on one person's response to you. Outcome independence isn't about not caring. It's about caring without attachment. You care enough to put yourself out there authentically, but you're not attached to a specific result. This paradox is what makes confidence so attractive. When someone senses you'll be fine regardless of their response, they feel free to be authentic too. But what about rejection? Let's tackle this head-on because fear of rejection is the #1 thing keeping guys stuck in their comfort zones. Here's a perspective shift that changes everything. Rejection isn't personal, it's informational. When someone isn't interested, they're not rejecting you as a person. They're simply providing information about compatibility, timing, or their current situation. Think about it logically. She doesn't know you well enough to reject the real you. She's responding to a brief interaction, not your entire character, your potential, or your worth as a human being. Sometimes she's in a relationship, sometimes she's having a terrible day, sometimes she's just not in the headspace to meet new people. None of these scenarios have anything to do with your value. I want you to start collecting rejections like trophies because each one represents courage in action. Every no brings you closer to finding someone who's genuinely excited to get to know you. The guys who seem naturally successful with dating aren't more attractive or charming, they're just more willing to face rejection. They've learned that the temporary sting of a no is far less painful than the permanent regret of never trying. Confidence also means knowing when to walk away gracefully. If someone isn't engaged in the conversation, if they seem uncomfortable, or if they clearly indicate they're not interested, the confident response is to respectfully exit the interaction. This isn't defeat, it's emotional intelligence. You're demonstrating that you value both your time and theirs. As we wrap up this journey through the landscape of romantic confidence, remember that true boldness isn't about being the loudest person in the room or using aggressive tactics. It's about being courageously authentic, genuinely curious about others, and comfortable enough with yourself to handle whatever response comes your way. Your confidence is like a muscle that grows stronger with use. Every genuine interaction, every moment you choose authenticity over performance, every time you feel the fear and approach anyway, you're building unshakable inner strength. So here's your challenge. This week, have 3 genuine conversations with strangers. Not necessarily romantic interests, just people you encounter in your daily life. Practice being present, curious, and outcome independent. Notice how this shifts your energy and how others respond to you differently. Remember, confidence isn't a destination you arrive at, it's a practice you cultivate daily. The woman of your dreams isn't waiting for the perfect version of you. She's waiting for the authentic, confident version of you that already exists. It's time to let him shine. Don't forget to subscribe.